Okay, I know a lot of you guys are really upset they didn't play the entirety of SpongeBob's Sweet Victory theme at the Super Bowl 2 nights ago. Well, I want you guys to know that I made my own version of the Sweet Victory song at the Super Bowl halftime show to help satisfy you angry SpongeBob fans. So, here it is. Hello everybody, this is SeetherCord here, and welcome to the next installment of SeetherTalks. Today I'm going to share with you guys a brand new experience I've had within the furry fandom, and that is my very first ever group fursuiting experience, particularly the one that I had last month at New Orleans Wizard World Comic Con 2019. To let you guys know what made this particular fursuiting experience different from all of the other times I've done it, is all of the new aspects to fursuiting that I experienced for the first time, which you can only really experience when you're with a group and or at an event rather than being by yourself. To give you guys a little backstory on how I got to this particular experience in the first place, let's do a little recap. So back last month, I drove about 5+ hours all the way to New Orleans, Louisiana to get to this event, which 2 of those hours were wasted because I did the most absolute dumbest thing a fursuiter could ever do when going to a convention. Are you guys ready for it? You guys ready? You sure about that? Here it is. After about 45 minutes of driving to the convention, I forgot to bring my fursuit and my ticket to the event. Okay, I get it, jeez. Can you guys give me a break? Come on. Anyways, I drove all the way back, got the fursuit, and made my way there, and on the second day at the event, I eventually met up with a bunch of other furries, particularly a lot of them coming from social media sites such as Instagram rather than YouTube or Discord. And after a couple of hours of spending time and hanging out with the other fellow furries and getting to know them better, it was coming to about the end of the night and the convention had about 2 hours left. And now it's time to get to the brand new fursuiting experience I wanted to tell you guys about. What happened was that there was about 10 or so of us in fursuit, while there was about 5 or so of us not in fursuit as well. So there was around 15 of us furries all together right outside the convention grounds. And then one of the non-fursuiters came up to me while I was in my fursuit, and he was like, "Hey, I'm the handler for this group. I'll guide you for pictures, where you need to go to next, and give you any assistance when you need it." And I was surprised because this guy I never met before in my life was saying, "Hey, I'll help you and assist you for your fursuiting." And I will let you guys know, I'm a really lone wolf when it comes to the furry fandom, no pun intended, so I don't really have that many connections IRL to other furries. And whenever I fursuit, it's usually by myself with nobody being my handler, which is actually a really lonely feeling now that I think about it a lot more.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
So having this guy be there for me made me feel really good deep down. Shout out for real to that guy if he's watching. Also, I must mention that having a handler guide me around to the convention grounds was a blessing for me because whenever I would fursuit in the past, I would have trouble seeing and would have to make a mental layout in my head of where I was walking, then put on the fursuit head and kind of guess where I was going because it's hard as hell to see with my fursuit head on. So after an hour of fursuiting and not taking my head off at all, I won't deny that I was really starting to sweat and I was getting a little dizzy and even disoriented. There was even a point where I tripped and fell onto the ground and one of the other suitors picked me up. And this guy was big, like for real, he was like 7 feet tall or so. And he was like, "Dude, are you okay?" So thank you to him for that. And then I realized to myself, oh crap, I'm going to pass out soon if I don't get some water. So I motioned to my handler and was like, "Dude, I need some water." And he came back literally 2 minutes later with a water bottle, which was absolutely awesome of him because the water bottles at the convention were like $3 a pop, so again, awesome guy. Another thing I needed to mention about this whole experience was the fact that there was so many people at the convention center asking me for pictures. It was around 40 or 50 different instances of this because that once other fursuiters and I started walking the convention grounds together in a line, we were like, "We own this bitch." That was not funny. I am so cringy. Oh my god. It's also funny because I wanted us to do kind of a conga line while we were walking the ground, so it'll be kind of like a bunch of fursuiters going do 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 do. That would have been so funny. Another thing I want to mention is the fact that one of the fursuiters I met outside the convention grounds when we were done fursuiting and all taught me that I was actually wearing my fursuit head incorrectly. The reason why I say this is because I always had trouble seeing out of both my eyes, so I was kind of blinded while I would fursuit and I had to memorize everything like I mentioned earlier. But then he taught me that you actually have to kind of push down on the snout of your fursuit head, even to the point where it feels like you're like breaking it or you're putting your face somewhere where it doesn't need to be. But it actually fixed my vision a lot. It made everything look so much clearer. So thank you so much to that fursuiter for teaching me that. Thank you. The one last thing that happened that was kind of negative, but I took it more in a funny way, was that when we were done walking the grounds, someone walked past our resting area where we were cooling off and desuiting, and he just yelled as he passed, "Yiffin' hell, fur fags! Yiffin' hell, fur fags!" And I know that you shouldn't take it personally, which I didn't, but it was kind of surreal to be called that in person for the first time rather than it be through a YouTube comment. But overall, it was just an altogether amazing experience, and it was easily one of the best days of my entire life. I had a blast meeting everyone there because they were so nice and helpful and friendly. It was genuinely something that I've wanted to do for years, and having to wait 2+ years after getting my fursuit to experience something like that for the first time just made it so much more worth it in the end. So that pretty much wraps up this episode of SeetherTalks for today. How do you guys feel about my first ever hugely group major fursuiting experience? Are you guys fursuiters? Are you guys not fursuiters? Do you guys usually suit by yourselves? Do you guys go to conventions and suit with other people? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoy my content and want to further help out my channel, please consider donating to my Patreon page, hitting that like button, turning on that notification bell, and subscribing all together. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of the day. Remember guys, seize the day. I've been SeetherCord, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye everyone.
Now, Alex, go. Are you paying attention?
Ethan paying attention.
Alex, go to the right, please.
Ryan's gonna laugh so hard at you guys not communicating well.
No, because Alex cannot know how to communicate.
You only cleaned one of them out of the 5.